is not in. Leave a message after the beep. Thanks, man.
Mr. Lebowski, this is Duty Officer Rollbog of the LAPD. We've recovered your automobile. It can be claimed at the North Hollywood Auto Circus there on Victory.
Far fucking out! Hey, this is a private residence, man. Ah, nice marmot.
Where is that money, Lebowski? We want the money, Lebowski!
You think we are kidding or making with the funny stuff?
That's what you think. You haven't dreamed of Lebowski.
Yeah, we believe in nothing.
We believe in nothing, Lebowski, nothing.
And tomorrow we come back and we cut off your Johnson.
Excuse me?
I said we cut off your Johnson!
Just think about that, Lebowski.
Hey, you big penis, Lebowski.
Ja, maybe we stomp on it and squish it. Ja, Lebowski.
Yay! Podcast all the way. And if you're hearing the hooping, hollering, clapping, then you know it's another good time here on The Blunt Truth Presents Seeing Stoned. Ooh. That's right. Back again, I'm Scotty P from the Geek Fathers, also a regular panelist on the Geeks Under the Influence Network. As I'm joined here by miscreants, to say the least, as we talk about pop culture, movies, along with all that involves the weed. That's right, guys. So welcome back. Hopefully you've been enjoying the episodes that you've seen so far. This one is definitely, I think, one of all-time favorites across the board. We've said that about a couple of them, but this one, beautiful. Chef's kiss all the way for this. We will be talking...
Jeff's kiss?
Jeff's kiss? Yes. Jeff's kiss.
Jeffrey Lebowski's kiss?
Jeff's kiss.
Yes. And if you didn't pick up on that, we are talking the Big Lebowski this episode, guys.
I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
So welcome back. Let's get into this. The cohorts that I've been desperately trying to wrangle on this show doesn't work very well, as you tell. Yeah, see. I saw that. I see all. And my creature to the left is Mr. Casey Martin.
I'm being a creature.
Of the night?
Of the night, yeah.
I don't think we're going to talk Rocky Horror on this, but...
I love Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay. And as he dances his little jig there, the creator, the boss lady that we're all following around, writer, director, editor. I'm trying to do your introduction. Oh, geez. I thought we were talking Big Lebowski. So Miss Becky Gaskill here. Hopefully should be leading this crew, but this is, I guess, why they brought me on.
Sorry, that's my squirrel.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome back. Isn't that how the song goes? Welcome back. I can't remember the rest.
Welcome back.
Something.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
John Travolta, welcome back.
We're definitely not talking Travolta here. We are talking all weed, all the Big Lebowski, guys. So, just to try to keep us on track here, what we always talk about with these movies, the spark, if you will, to get our bong going, is this a stoner movie or just a movie about stoners? Boss lady, let's lead it off.
It's not a stoner movie. It's a movie about a stoner. That is because there's one guy that sometimes smokes weed, and then there's a bunch of other people that are just random characters that he associates with.
What do you think, Casey? You are our go-to on this one.
No, I sort of disagree just because of the, druggy sequences, the
trippiness to it.
The trippiness, the arty, sort of, hyper crisp slow-mo shot sort of things going on in this movie. tips it into the stoner movie category for me, because it's a stoner and you're sort of like, you're viewing this whole world through the lens of this stoner, like this guy who's like able to get away with almost anything, you know, like, and with seemingly without any harm to himself and not changing his perspective or persuasion at all.
I got to go with Casey on this one. I see it more as an actual stoner movie.
That is your opinion. I mean,
You are wrong, ma'am.
Well, no, I'm not. Whose fucking show is this?
Now let's
Apparently mine.
talk about it. Let's mud wrestle about it.
Yes. Speedos all
If we
around.
do a white t-shirt contest, I win.
Yes.
It's not about size.
Yeah.
Okay. Size doesn't matter.
Mine are really shaped really nice.
It's a...
I just need a push-up bra, okay?
Yeah. Anyways, you can tell we're off to a great start with this episode. But yeah, overall, though, regardless of being a stoner movie or just a movie about stoners, a fun fucking movie that this one is across the board.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely one of my favorites. This is a...
Really, Lebowski sweater?
Yeah.
Really? Do tell.
Well, like, I used to travel... with bands for a living. Like, I was a guitar tech guy and then a sound guy and then all that kind of stuff. So one of the bands I worked for, their ritual every day getting on the bus would be to watch the Big Lebowski. And I'd seen it before working for them, and it was just like, I saw it and I was like, man, this story is like really hard to follow. It's like, it's it sets it up as this like urgent life or death thing, and then it like starts to get more and more convoluted as it goes on. And like, to me, by the end of the story, like, I don't give a fucking shit about Bunny Lebowski. Like, she's supposed to be the whole reason that any of this happened in the first place.
She definitely did take a backseat, whether it was meant to or not, in the overall plot. Like,
well,
was
it's
definitely
like the whole thing was supposed to be about, Bunny Lebowski, a something 20-year-old, Midwestern trophy wife, to use the parlance of our times. A wife, a trophy. Here's she, my trophy wife. You like my wife. So she marries a really rich guy named Jeffrey Lebowski as a trophy wife. These dudes come beating down the door of Jeffrey Lebowski to try to get money that Bunny owes.
The money the bunny.
The money that Bunny owes. But
the bunny money?
But
Bunny
here's
money.
the trick. There's two Jeffrey Lebowskis.
What?
Two.
Zany.
One of them is the millionaire, Jeffrey Lebowski. Mm-hmm. And the other one is the dude, Jeff Bridges, the dude. The dude obviously is not married.
Synopsis on
He's
the plot
obviously
then.
not married to Bunny Lebowski. These guys try to shake him down for some money that Bunny owes him. And he's like, man, do I look like I'm fucking married? The toilet seats up, man. So, like, yeah, they figure out that there's the big Lebowski, Jeff Lebowski. These thugs end up peeing on the dude's rug. And this is what sets him off in the first place. They pee on his rug, ruin his rug. That rug tied the room together.
True.
So did.
Tied the room together.
That's
It
the
really
general
did.
consensus, I think.
So-
the rug tied the room together.
It did.
Period.
Yeah. So, smash cut to bowling alley. And he's having
We need
a conversation with
the
his
quick
friends.
synopsis.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
So, long
I
story
appreciate
short-
the love of this movie that you have, but
Long story
this
short-
is the stoner talking about the stoner movie of where he'll just give
I
us
love
the
this
full
movie.
rundown.
I can go probably scene per scene, but like, yeah, awesome characters. Walter Sobchak, Donnie.
Walter,
Walter,
what
played
makes
by
a lot
John
of these
Goodman.
movies is the actors.
Yes.
John fucking Goodman.
John Goodman,
Mm-hmm.
yes, plays Walter, a Vietnam vet who saw lots of his buddies die face down in the muck. And he holds a big church.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, well,
And-
this one is, I was about to say, this is probably the one where we have some fun fan theories, if you will, that we definitely need to explore. And that, whether you're a stoner or not, you would appreciate these. And you watch that movie again, you're like, oh, fuck.
Because I feel like that's the cool thing about this movie is like depending on your perspective, depending on how deep you dive into it, and like, you know, how much mythology you kind of want to make up or how much you need to know about these characters. Because to me, it's like, it's just like the rapport between characters is like that.
For
the whole
sure.
movie is just like cruising through life as the dude, like, pinballing his way around all this fucking crazy shit. He gets thrown into this whole, you know, supposed kidnapping plot where Bunny Lebowski is being taken by these people. There's a ransom, and the Big Lebowski, just meeting the dude, goes, "Hey, dude, you can tell me whether it was the guys that peed on your rug that kidnapped her. So you're going to be the bag man, and you're going to take this money, and you're going to get Bunny back. And you're going to get 10%, and we're going to give you a beeper, and we're going to blah-blah-dee-boo." And he tells his friend Walter, and Walter's like, "No, fuck that. We're going to keep the whole fucking $1 million. And then
bag of dirty underwear is involved. I'll just say that much.
The whites.
You know.
They trade a ringer. They try out a ringer. And then the kidnappers fuck with them again and send them a severed toe.
But is it Bunny's?
Is it Bunny's toe?
We
don't know. And so, he gets threatened again by the Big Lebowski because he fucked it all up. He said the plane has flown into the fucking mountain. Nothing's fucked here.
Wow.
But why would you say this is your favorite stoner film?
Right.
I don't know. It's the majesty of the dude. It's his sort of like resilience to just be as zen, like unwavering experiencer of he's a relative, like, you know, religious figure, you know, that's
dudism,
you know,
and that's something that should definitely be mentioned, is that out of all the movies that we have and we'll be talking about, there is an actual religion based on the dude.
Yes. Yes.
Which nobody else could, like, a random character.
There isn't
a religion
character
built on this
in any
alone,
story besides the character Jesus Christ. In any book.
Boy.
Those are that, you know, with Muhammad, I guess, you know, they had a book written about him, and now they're religious. They had a screenplay written about him, and now there's a religious figure. You know what I mean? Like, who else? You know.
Very true, honey.
But not very many other movies.
Back over here to reality.
Not very many other movies have a religious figure built around just a random movie.
That is true.
Yes, honey.
So based on that, as well as actually just watching the movie to enjoy a movie, not building a religion around it, how does the dude function with this? Because we know he's the main one getting high, living his life, trying to be carefree, if you will.
Yeah.
But obviously the dude has no job. He is behind on rent at this point during the movie.
At least 10 days.
And he's part of a bowling league, which obviously dues and fees are involved.
Yeah.
How does the dude fucking live? And how does he buy his weed? I mean, that's the key on this show.
I mean, I feel like the dude's kind of one of those guys where people just give him weed. Like, he's just one of those social butterfly dudes that as he's doing his rounds around LA and like in his crappy car and like, you know, bebopping his way around and doing the things that he does, like, people are just like, oh, it's the dude. Hey, dude, here. I grew this at my house. Here, try this.
Have a joint. Have a baggie. Yeah. Okay.
But he also, you see him ordering drinks all the time at the bar. He's ordering White Russians. He's ordering beers. You know,
I have a feeling that a lot of
He's
at
gotta
least the
have money.
bowling stuff. Well, I would say the bowling stuff is probably covered by like Walter and Donnie, possibly.
that could be true.
I was about to say they are such staples, like obviously at this bowling alley that they know whenever the dude orders a drink, it automatically goes to like Walter's tab.
I would
mean,
not. That
that
that's
makes
not
sense to me.
Super outside of any kind of ballpark I can imagine. That's
Right.
really
Right.
That would be a thing. But
Exactly.
it's like there is also what was it? The Coens were interviewed. Is this like a real thing or is this a fan theory?
So no,
thing?
it was originally written that he was supposed to be the heir to the Rubik's Cube throne. Like he was supposed to be. That was where his income came from. Was that he was
Right.
like heir
That's
to
right,
that?
yeah.
That's where he got all his money from. Was that he was
Yeah.
heir to that.
But they just ended up not establishing anything. There was no
No,
talk.
it
The
was
only
removed.
money talked about is for this ransom thing for the wife and blah 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 blah.
And it's like
Right.
it's not like he's motivated by money.
Yeah, no.
Because like they offer him 10% to do it or whatever, and he does it, and then Walter's the one that's like, no, we can keep the whole million.
Yeah.
right.
You know,
Well, to be fair,
he's
unfortunately,
motivated by 10. He's like motivated by what, $100,000? Like he wants that. That's why he's doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
because he also because that'll get him the new rug.
Oh yeah, and then he can buy any
Well,
kind
no,
of
they
rug.
said they could have any of the rugs in the house.
That's true
No,
too.
he didn't.
Yeah, he did. Remember in the beginning, he's like, you can pick out any of the rugs in the house.
No,
Philip
the
Seymour
dude-
Hoffman did.
No, the dude.
The dude told the
Just said-
butler
Oh,
that
he told
that-
him, okay.
Yeah, told Philip Seymour
he wasn't
Hoffman
actually. Yeah,
that. Yeah, old man said I could take any rug in the house. And then the reason Maud gets involved is because it was actually Maud's mother's rug.
Okay.
And Maud's like,
That's right.
It has sentimental value to me. You can't have that rug. I will give you money and you can buy any rug that you want.
hence
Like
getting deeper into this web of
Maud
shit.
wants to prove that
It's her
the Big
stepfather.
Lebowski,
Her stepfather, I believe, or is it her actual father just being a dick?
I think he doesn't have any money of his own. He's very vain. They're Maud's trying to get him to expose how her dad is embezzling money from the
He's a
trust
fraud.
of
He's a
the
fraud.
From that little children campaign or whatever.
Right,
Little Lebowski urban achievers, and proud we
Yes.
are of all of them.
So now that we've also mentioned a bunch of the other characters, I want to make sure we circle back because, again, like basically every episode we say this is that the list of actors are fucking awesome in this movie.
Oh, in this one, yeah.
Jeff Bridges, of course, being the dude, John Goodman, Steve Buscemi. You have your main characters, the late great Philip
Seymour.
Hoffman.
Seymour.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, which even at this time was, he was still going back and forth with a lot of those playing wacky characters to playing some of the more like real serious, like real gritty type characters.
This was like
But
Boogie Nights time for him. This was right around the time for the really weird, like Magnolia. and,
Right,
like, yeah.
right. Where he could play a serious character, but it was real cheeseball type serious.
Yeah,
Not,
where you see him in that going, oh, that's that guy.
yeah.
Who's that guy's name
Be-
again?
Before Capote.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
before
so-
Capote.
So, Gillian Anderson as Maud.
Oh man, she was great.
Which,
too.
fucking hilarious.
That's not Gillian Anderson. That's Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
I was thinking for a second. I was like, no, it's not.
Those redheads back in the 90s and stuff. I always get them.
Those damn redheads.
I know.
My art has been commended as being strongly vaginal, which bothers some men. The word itself makes some men uncomfortable. Vagina.
Oh, yeah?
But yes, Julianne Moore.
Yes.
My apologies. Gillian Anderson, a great actress as well, in my opinion. But let's see who else. Oh, the narrator, the voice behind this movie, Sam fucking Elliott.
Oh yeah, the dude. The stranger.
Was it the stranger or the narrator? I always
He's
say the wrong thing. I know.
He's the
He's the
stranger.
The
stranger.
stranger. So,
Way
but he
out
narrates
west,
part of the movie.
There's a man
should say.
named Lebowski.
And then, oh Jesus,
There's a
what are we
man
gonna
by
do
the
with
name
you?
of
Speaking
Jeff
of Jesus, actually,
Lebowski.
John Tuturo,
Indeed.
the such minor character of this movie, but yet pulled out all the fucking stops. Mm-hmm. The Jesus man.
The Jesus man.
Nobody fuck with the Jesus.
What's this day of rest bullshit? Like he plays that so hard. He plays that character
Dude,
so
you
hard.
want to
It's
talk
awesome.
about a minor, major character of like some. And again, John Turturro, I don't think I've ever seen him do any calm character, anyways. Is there something I'm missing?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head, no.
But usually, just about every character he has at least has a moment of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he pulls that off perfectly with the Jesus man.
Yeah, he does that well. Yes.
So, again, and I think that's our full roster, at least for the main characters. There's other familiar faces within the movie, but characters you don't see as like the Swedes or whatever, the one group. You have
With
Flea.
Yeah, the nihilists.
The
Nihilist,
nihilist, thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. And, the main nihilist. What's his face? That guy is
Uli
great.
Kungel.
Yes.
His
That
name is
man.
Peter Stormare.
He
Stormare.
plays Satan from Constantine.
Oh,
And-
yeah, I haven't
yeah.
seen that movie.
Yeah.
But you know who it was, so
Yeah.
that's all that matters
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But I mean that guy, and there's a couple other like familiar faces. But again, like for these actors that was the funny part about this one is that all these actors were not really necessarily up and comers. They were already pretty established.
Well,
Yeah.
they're also regulars in Coen Brother films. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Most
Steve
of them
and
are.
John had done, 3 before this?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only one that was fairly new was Jeff Bridges. So
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges gets on set and he was like, so I can like work this into the lines and yada, yada, yada.
Jeff
And-
Bridges was able to use his very own clothes.
Yes.
For his costumes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like the other thing I always find amusing is when I hear about this is that Jeff Bridges was like, so I'm going to work with this line and then maybe add this and this. And they're like, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It seemed like with Coen,
Exactly
either-
how it was written.
Yeah, you have to do it exactly as it's
exactly.
written, or you're just so far off base that you're like, maybe we'll let it slide for this one
No,
scene.
these guys are like the only
mean-
thing that slid through is when he said human paraquat. Like that's the only thing that wasn't scripted in the whole movie. Like when then they kept that one line
Right.
that Jeff Bridges.
Well, that
Jeff
and like
Bridges changed.
So since they'd worked with John Turturro so much, they were like, "All right, you can mold this character a little bit," and that was
Right.
John Turturro being like, "All right, so it's only this big of a character. All right, can I make him that
Yeah.
much
Yeah,
of a
just made
character?
him.
That wild?
Right,
Of a
I was about to
character."
say it's certain circumstances that they would, and again, somebody they worked with before that they were like, we'll give you this one, we'll give you this one, but next time you owe us.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well, that's kind of like what he did. Like you give him a character and he like makes him into a character. That's
Right.
one of the
Right,
best things
right.
about John Turturro. That's what he does. He takes all of the characters and all their quirks and flaws, and like you see the hesitation in his like eyes when he knows people know about his past, and so you know what I mean. It's like those tiny
Which-
little things. Like I've seen this movie a million freaking times. Like I
Right.
can see the tiny little
Yeah.
like it feels like they've done that stuff on purpose, and like
Yeah.
the other where I'm way too high.
No.
I'm just gonna say yes,
Yes and yes.
just to encompass all that.
Hey, and this is the second
Jesus.
movie
What?
that has had a character named Smokey in it.
What? What?
Yeah.
Who's Smokey in this
Smokey.
Smokey is one of the other bowling league participants.
one? Okay, well,
And
I wouldn't have
Smokey's
never.
toe goes over the line.
I'm
like-
deaf.
Smokey, your toe is over the line. Mark it 0.
Okay, well, that was
then
not
he goes,
nearly of a very
"You're-
big character as it
you're-
was in Friday.
You're
Right.
entering a world of pain.
Okay.
You're entering a world of
For those of you
pain.
who don't know, he is doing John
I-
Goodman right now.
Am I the
So
only one that gives a
spoilers,
shit about the rules? Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
We're in a small,
this
close
movie.
location, honey.
Yeah, the studio is not that big, sir. I know. Obviously, the love is there for this movie, and again, that's the reason why I haven't said much, because he's
no
saying
point.
he says it all. But this movie really is great, like just entertainment value, just for the shenanigans that are involved. The characters are well built, which that should also bring us back to, because it's so burning in my brain, and I love talking about this theory because of talking about these characters and actors who do them. Steve Buscemi. The whole point, which this is the part that'll blow your mind, you know, if you smoke that extra hit before you watch the movie.
No,
Donnie,
wait, man.
does Donnie actually exist in this movie? Or is he alive in the movie is the question.
Or is he just a figment of Walter and the dude's imagination?
The way they're both fractured, but they see the same, fractured from different things.
Well,
but
it's
see
like
the same thing.
There's only like 4 lines shared between the dude and Donnie. You could make the argument that the dude is just kind of playing along. Okay, so let's back up. There's a fan theory that Donnie does not exist at all. He's just a figment of Walter's imagination. Maybe one of his buddies that died face down in the muck.
Right.
Maybe. So is the dude just that good of a friend to where he's like, playing along with Walter?
He picks up if Donnie is around or not based on what Walter is saying.
Yes. Because Walter
Donnie, you're
talks
out of
to
your
Donnie.
element.
Yeah, Donnie, you're out of your element.
And
You're like a child wandering in the middle of a movie.
I mean, we could just make this whole episode of him just quoting the lines and
would be
doing
really
stuff,
boring.
Just have him take the occasional
super boring.
bullshit.
Right.
Wait. Then there was this other line. It was really good.
There's Casey on Big
Quick,
Lebowski.
go. He's hitting the bull. Talk. Donnie.
Donnie. No, I do think that it's Donnie is part of Walter and his imagination.
And part of the spoilers, if you haven't seen this movie, you're missing out.
See, I think Donnie's just a dude. Donnie is like the sort of he's also like another bystander just to see what the dude is doing, in my opinion. He's not like one of those like super well-defined characters, other than he's just like the bowling buddy, and he always throws strikes. He's throwing strikes except for one time.
But see, that's the whole thing, is why I partly go with that theory of Donnie is not actually alive, of where I don't think do you actually see him bowl?
Yeah, he bowls. He's like the first.
He's the one you mostly see bowl.
He's throwing rocks tonight.
Okay.
Like, you guys are dead in the water.
And again, I'm missing if it's mainly in the beginning, that's the part where I'm blanking on. So is that just them seeing it? And I mean, do the other bowlers just sort of go along with it because they know Walter's kind of off kilter?
No, I think Donnie's totally real. Donnie's a for real character. I think Walter's fucked, but I don't think he's that fucked. Like, I don't think he's that fucked in his head. He's there's also another fan theory that like Walter never went to Nam. Like he got shipped off to like Germany or something like that, and worked in logistics, and
he was not on the front lines
and
or anything.
He never saw combat or anything like that, and like because for most of the like Vietnam veterans that I've been associated with, my father being one of them, they don't necessarily like to talk about what happened in Nam. It's not like a really good memory for them, so they don't tend to offer it up. Even though my dad does wear like Vietnam vet, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff, because he's trying to get his military discount.
Right.
He's old. That's what old people do if we got to find discounts.
Yeah. But I mean,
I need my 15% off.
My discount.
But yeah, Walter
I didn't watch my buddies die face down in the muck, so I couldn't get my 15% discount.
Where's my coffee? But yeah, that's the whole thing. Walter brings it up way too much.
Yeah,
to go along with that
I feel
theory.
like that's a better, I like that fan theory way better. They're like Walter's not as hard as you think he is, even though he has mad guns and stuff like that.
One pulls out the gun at the bowling alley that one time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He had an Uzi in the scene where they're gonna do the
money drop
handoff,
or whatever.
the money handoff. He's like, I'm gonna roll out and I'll double back, and he was like, hand me the Uzi, and he was like, Uzi, hands it to him. He jumps out of the car and hurts himself, and then Jeff Lebowski crashes the car, and they fucked it up.
Well,
yeah,
that happens.
The tidy whities.
Yeah, that's followed by the
dirty underwear.
That's the other thing where the dude talks to Donnie, because Donnie's like, your phone's ringing, dude, and he's like, thanks, Donnie.
Yeah, that's the second time, right?
That's the second time they talk.
Second time. Yeah,
they say anything to each other.
Yeah, so it's like I guess more so I appreciate that theory, but there is just too much of showing that Donnie is actually around. That kind of, again, if you hit the bulb just right before you watch it, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I mean,
yeah.
If you don't make it all the way to the end and see the Donnie, dying of a heart attack and, being cremated, and then the whole scene at the funeral parlor, which is great, where they're like, we're just being fucking ripped off. Obviously they're all very budget conscious. They're all,
sure. None of them are
trying to get ripped off.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get the money back, where they think the money, whether it was actually a ringer for a ringer, which they find out, am I giving away too much at the end? You have to go and you have to watch this movie, and if you don't,
it makes way better sense if you actually watch the movie instead of
Casey telling you what it is.
Trying to go on his random rants and raves there. So the question is, we mentioned it before, but does the rug actually tie the room together? And even sub-question, why do the Eagles suck?
Well, so my argument being that one of my favorite things in the world is interior design. I didn't see anything else really in that damn room. So I'm like, how does it pull it together when there's jack shit else in the room?
It's hardwood floors. You got to have a rug.
Right.
If it was just all hardwood
rug,
floors.
All he had was the rug and then this picture of Richard Nixon bowling.
Yeah.
And then a bookshelf.
A little bar. That was it.
Like a bar.
Or whatever.
But see, that's why it tied the room together.
Okay, there's nothing there.
I'm saying he had a serious lack. The rug was there, and that was a thing that he needed in his house.
Okay.
Exactly.
If somebody came and stole your rug, you wouldn't be pissed. You wouldn't try to go figure out who stole your rug.
Right?
I mean, okay.
Or if somebody came in your house and peed on your rug.
I would be mad about that, yes.
Very mad.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say it tied together because there's not shit there. So,
Yeah.
It's not even decorated. So how could you say it tied together? Because there's not even decorated.
You don't. Now you're just thinking too much about it.
I'm the one thinking too much about things.
No,
Me?
I don't need to think. I know the rug tied the room together.
Okay, the three items in the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Because without the rug, those 3 items are shit.
Okay.
Hence the quest for a rug.
Shh. He needs his picture in his bar in his living room. And it wouldn't work if there's no fucking rug.
Damn right.
Okay. Well, there's your answer. What's yours?
When he's not wearing his jelly shoes.
Yes.
Okay.
He needs that rug.
Yes, it tied the room together. You need some sort of rug in that room.
Okay.
See?
You need some sort of rug. Absolutely.
Men.
You need it.
That's why it was a men's house. Because there's nothing there. Just saying.
Why do the Eagles suck?
What, Philadelphia Eagles?
Well,
no, the band. But the band, the Eagles.
The band, because we know from the movie that Creedence Clearwater Revival is the band for the dude.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was most concerned about besides the car itself when it was stolen. But why do the Eagles suck? I want to hear from Boss Lady on this one.
Well, I can tell you that my adopted parents, he loves, what was it, Joe Walsh, who was in the Eagles.
Right.
So he always told me that was the only good thing about the Eagles was Joe Walsh. So I have to at least give him that point.
Sure.
Joe Walsh is the only good thing about the Eagles. And being that I've only heard one song on repeat all the time, Hotel California.
Well, I mean, that's going to
the only
drive you
thing I know.
bonkers.
Yeah.
So fair.
So
I mean, they have lots and lots and lots of songs.
that's nice, but I
Like,
don't know them.
yeah.
I know one song and I know one member off the top of my head. And he's the only good thing about it.
Take it easy.
Okay, but Creedence is better than them.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Creedence-
totally.
Yeah.
By comparison, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll definitely take CCR over the Eagles. I mean, I have nothing against the Eagles,
But I feel like the
CCR,
Eagles
yeah.
was like at that point in his life after being, like basically fucked up by a cop and like trying to make his way back home after being drugged and like all this shit. The last thing he wanted to do is hear like easy listening music.
Yeah.
He was just like,
For sure.
fuck this shit. And then getting kicked out of the cab.
Yeah.
Really funny.
For listening to the Eagles.
Yeah.
I
But
dig
yeah,
it.
I agree.
It's my motherfucking cab. I can listen to anything I want.
And now that I should say you've elaborated so much on the movie, but
We haven't
As
even
we-
begun to fight.
come to this, jeez, man.
Fight.
The creator of what we're working with here for DTF, the series, the movie that will be coming, and everything like that, based in your professional opinion, is this probably one of the biggest ones, like the biggest movie that the Coens have probably done?
No. I mean, when you think about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That was a big movie.
Yeah, that
You
one's a
think of,
blockbuster.
No Country for Old Men is probably one of their biggest.
The soundtrack
Well, for the time as well. I mean, think about some of these did come out like
the
old,
soundtrack
No
for Oh
Country
Brother
Old
was like
Women.
number one,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Like, if I remember, like everybody was playing "Man of Constant Sorrow," like everybody.
True.
Like there was a full on, like that was a
bluegrass
much
revival across the
bigger movie.
U.S.
Yeah,
For real.
Yeah, that was a much bigger movie as far as like
Right.
like-
And I just say that for the
this
sake
is
of
one of those-
conversation because, I mean, we got to, the way the Coens have built their career, and especially if you look at the time that this movie was made, obviously, like No Country for Old Men
post-Fargo,
was done
right?
way later in comparison.
It was a couple years after, but you have to think this is in the shadow of Fargo.
yeah.
True.
So
True.
This was not nearly as big as Fargo. This was more of a cult classic that came out after.
Right.
So it did not do.
Yeah, it didn't
do
I mean,
nearly as well.
because again, we talked about like a religion has been based around the dude, the festivals and everything that have been based
Lebowski
around this
Fest.
you
movie
could say
alone.
that this is the more, what would you say, everlasting popularity film
for sure.
of his.
Because I know mainstream in the box office, it didn't do
Oh,
very
no, it
well.
did shit.
Yeah.
And it was
But-
like it was the DVD and VHS market that like,
Oh, for
made
sure.
this thing happen.
Yeah.
You
And,
can
like,
say that about all
like,
the
I
films
can't-
that we've done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like none of the stoner films got
the exception
like,
of Pineapple
mad,
Express.
got
Yeah.
mad love from the studio and got marketed correctly or pushed in any sort of way. You know, like a lot of times, all that stuff really does add up to what happens in the box office. So,
Yeah.
something to think about, like a
But no, like as far as you could say like a phenomenon, cultural phenomenon, this is probably yes. That and maybe Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, with as far as all the Coen brothers, I think had an everlasting effect.
Right, because even though you don't hear about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou a whole lot these days, they're still...
The soundtrack's still there.
Oh, yeah, the soundtrack, they're still reminiscent of, you know, I mean, George Clooney and some of the other main characters in that movie, you see them and you're like, oh, yeah, they did that that movie was great, you know?
Yeah.
By all means, sure.
Yeah. So I would say those two have the most cultural influence out of all their films. Not the biggest. By far, out
Right.
of all the Coen brothers, I don't think this was the
Not their
biggest.
big money grab, not their... But...
Not their Oscar winners. No.
No, but
No.
Again, to me, Jeff Bridges had a lot to do with that.
I do. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think Jeff Bridges had to do a lot in this film.
yeah,
no.
like
This
he was
is
playing
one of the-
himself as like a 20-year-old.
yeah, this was probably one of the easiest films Jeff Bridges went in and was like, I'm the
I mean,
dude.
just the fact that he owned those jelly shoes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That was part of his wardrobe before he was the dude.
Yeah.
Like, he had a sweater like this hanging in his closet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
that was like, they used stuff from his closet.
Yeah.
He was already the dude, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was Jeff Bridges being Jeff Bridges.
This is just
Yeah.
a fortunate casting, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're like,
For
let's
sure, yeah.
find the guy that we wrote this thing. Like, let's find the closest guy to the actual guy that we're basing this guy on. Because there is a real guy that they based it on that they knew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen him before. I think he was on an episode of Dave.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah,
He was on the Rick Rubin
Little
episode.
Dicky show, the
Yeah, the Rick
Dave.
Rubin show.
Yeah,
The Rick Rubin episode, I'm sorry. But yes, he's a real man.
oh, yeah, and he's the
He is.
real dude, the guy that
Yeah.
was really the real
Oh,
dude.
yeah. So, overall, though, a great, even though you may disagree with us over here,
not a
which
stoner.
apparently there's a lot of disagreement on this episode with you and the guys over here.
Well,
But,
I'm just like,
oh, Lord.
I mean, granted, you don't see him like smoking weed like all the time. Like he
drinks more.
Yeah, he definitely drinks way more. There's like way more White Russians. There's way more beers.
then
there's
how
way
is it
more,
a stoner movie?
Like,
just
but
because he's like,
it doesn't. That's
there's not
his
weed.
MO. Like that's just his like.
Because he
wakes
acts like a
and
stoner that
he
makes the
wakes
whole
and
entire film a stoner
He wakes
movie?
and bakes. He does like that's who he is. That's what he like. That's how he
So that makes
experiences
it a
this
stoner
life.
movie?
And you're seeing this whole thing like coming out like through his lens.
I'm going to say is just the
That's
only
what
thing
I'm saying.
I'll interject is that the only reason why he drinks as much is because he is unable to smoke the weed at the bowling alley.
Probably.
Okay, again, but that doesn't mean it's a stoner movie.
But
I mean,
also,
it's-
like what Casey mentioned earlier, I also take it exactly like he mentioned. Like it's a lot about visually and where he is mentally as well.
Yeah, he's like fucked for
As
most
a
of this.
stoner.
Like, and he even says he's been like, I've been putting myself on a really strict drug regimen to like keep my mind real limber, to
Okay.
work out all the facets of this case.
I understand.
Like-
And it's a story about a stoner. Everyone else, not stoned. It's a movie about a stoner. No one else in that movie is stoned. So it's a story about one guy who's a stoner. The rest of the movie is not a stoner.
You have a point. It's still a stoner movie to me.
Okay.
And that is going to be a great note for
It's
us. I think
still
to
a
wrap-
stoner movie to me, man.
You stoner
Yeah, man.
Hey, how many times did they say man in this movie?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Give us some good like our end all be all know all of
Give her a
Lebowski.
dinner movie fact,
Okay,
honey.
yeah, this is
Come on.
this is gonna be.
dinner movie
because
fact.
besides
Hey, we're
just
you're
the
doing a
Coen
little
brothers,
Jim Jeffries shout out here, and this is
yeah. Besides the Coen brothers
dinner
doing
movie
this and us
facts
being
for you.
fan
The
of
next
Coen
time you're
brothers.
the next time you're out at like a dinner party with your friends.
Oh sure,
you know.
you get that. But this movie really had some of the more random facts that were found, shall we say?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, let's hear some of these great ones that you
All right,
found
so
out about.
They say the word man 147 times.
Damn.
Okay. 147 times. They say like some sort of version of the F word. So either fucked or fucking or fuck, but all that kind of stuff.
It has FUCK in it.
292 times. And it's like, I heard that Jeff Bridges was like, they was really hard to not, there was so much cussing in the script, like actually written out in the script. It was really hard to not like accidentally drop an extra fuck or put the fuck in the wrong place or like, whether because they wanted it to be exactly like the script.
Right, right.
And they said it was like a really hard thing because it was like the dialogue flowed so well that like, they could get wrapped up in the emotion of saying all the cuss words. You know what I mean? Like, you get like wrapped up in it. It was hard to be like, oh man, did I say like fuck one too many times on that take, or did I, did I not say man that one time? Because it's like, if you take the word fuck and you take the word man and you take the word dude, because they say dude 161 times. Like, if you take those three words out, you're like, that's a third of the script. You're just like cutting out if you take away those three words.
Dude, fuck, man.
Dude,
And
fuck, man.
the thing that you should have looked up is how many times were all three words used in one sentence.
I don't know.
That's the kicker.
That's not in there.
Yeah.
It's not in there.
No, it's not in here. No.
And when did this one come out? What was the year that it dropped?
98.
90? Was it? I was about to say late 90s.
Yeah,
I knew
98.
that.
98.
What was it rated? Do we know?
R.
Yeah,
It was R. So even for that many, I guess by R rating, by that point, it doesn't matter how many cuss words you technically have.
Yeah, no.
Because what is it? PG-13, you're allowed the one fuck and then a few other
a couple
Yeah.
words. Yeah.
A couple shits and one fuck.
Well, definitely more than that happened in this movie.
So you think the blunt truth is going to be rated R?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to go for
Yeah, I was about to say we should
So are you going to
definitely,
go for NC-17? Are you going to try to you don't want to do
just
NC-17?
straight R, just...
That's
I'm
just
not
R.
saying like nudity, but I'm just saying like you strong sexual content. You know what I mean?
It's strong
you just-
sexual content,
you
lots of
turn
cursing,
that-
lots
yeah.
of weed, lots
You
of drugs.
turn that knob up.
So you are making a pirate movie.
A pirate movie?
It's going to be rated R.
A pirate movie. It's the best movie about the weed.
That's right.
That we've ever
And
seen.
so we're going to stop with the dad jokes there. We're going to go ahead and wrap up about the Big Lebowski, guys. Definitely, of course, one of the fun ones that we've done along with so many of the other episodes. As we mentioned, definitely keep an eye out for the links, though. Like we were talking about with The Blunt Truth, the movie, once we have any release information, all that, we'll be posting that along. But to check out this show, if you just want to listen, check out everywhere where you check out the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all that fun stuff. And we'll drop down the link to the YouTube channel for The Blunt Truth. So you can actually, I don't know if you want to see this face. I'm sorry.
Like and subscribe. Come on. Traffic.
There you go. Even
We need the traffic.
the traffic. Click on the bell so you do get notified of when the new episode
Hey,
drops.
and let us know what your favorite lines or quotable lines or parts
By
of
all
the
means.
Lebowski and
Or if you
drop
wanna
stuff in the
tell
comment.
Casey to shut the
or if you
fuck
want
up.
to tell any of us to shut up. If you want to tell any of us that our ideas are stupid and that we should have ended up in a rag, like in a used sock.
Oh, jeez.
Not even born because of our
I would
opinions
say
are
cut his
so
mic, but he's
bad.
the tech guy.
Yes.
So, but
We
yeah,
want to hear about it.
We
Yeah.
do. We would love to hear back, guys, and especially with so much more that we'll be doing with The Blunt Truth as Becky gets ready for the project. A lot more information coming out, but we'll post all the links, all the stuff. Of course, if you ever want to check out more of the Geek Fathers or anything I do with the Geeks Under the Influence Network, just go to GUIPodcast.com. So check out all the shows that we've already released. There will be some more fun ones coming, some big information as we build up towards the end of this limited series. So, guys,
Indeed-o-dee-doo.
pack up the bong, puff, puff, pass, and join us next time on The Blunt Truth Presents Seeing Stoned. See ya.